My name is Jean Pierre Morby. The garden is La Ferme Ornée de Carrouges. Ferme Ornée has to do with the English garden in the 18th century, when the rich landowners decided to embellish their farm, to ornate them. So for that, they decided to garden the hedges, the clumps, the small woods, even the enclosures of the animals were designed. So everything looks simple, but everything has been designed. And the whole thing is a garden. So here in Carrouges, it is exactly the same at a smaller scale, because we are talking about 40 acres. In England, it was thousands of acres, but the idea and the principles are exactly the same. So the best way to illustrate this discourse is to visit the garden and precisely to see the famous hedges. Let's go. Here we are. We could say, inside the bocage. I've walked along a young hedge. I said young because we started the plantation 10 years ago, and here I stop in front of an old hedge. So this one is here for now centuries, we could say, and old hedges and new hedges are now mixing together, and this is the structure of the garden. Well, again in this bocage and hedge story, here we are under an old hedge and we are now planting new shrub and trees. For example, this maple tree, this one is Acer davidi, or the rhododendrons here, or the clethra. All these shrubs need the protection of the old hedge and the shadow, and this way they can prosper and grow. So here is another important element. This is the water. We are here along the ferns pond. We've planted ferns because the habitat here is very good for that. And this is the general principle of gardening here at La Ferme Ornée. Always use the good plant in the good habitat. Another important aspect in this garden, these are the animals. As I told in the beginning of this picture, the animals are here to graze, and so the whole place, the garden and the bocage, are made of hedges and open fields. Here we are in the gourds collection in the garden. This is the right moment to talk about the colors, the autumn colors, of course apples, gourds and all this stuff, but it's also the good period for autumn leaves and incredible color. This is also an occasion for me to tell this garden is a four-hands garden. And as usual, in a couple of gardeners, my wife is dealing with colors and I with the structure. Here we are in Normandy, the land of apples. So, La Ferme Ornée de Carrouges, we decided to plant a lot of apples. We have many varieties of table apples, and in this orchard, this is also a place where we receive children and school, and we try to interest them and to explain them how important the biodiversity is. And here the bocage, the apples and all these things are very important for the schools and the education of the young people. Here is another fruit, very interesting. This one is called kiwi, a mini kiwi. It comes from the north of China and it's very well adapted to the climate of Carrouges, very cold. So this is one of the marvels you can discover at the Ferme Ornée de Carrouges.